What's going on, everybody? It's Murph. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm getting kind of pissed off right now because this is now the second time in a row. This is the third recording I've done, but first recording I did last week on the Pestilence Scourge event. My OBS studio updated, and it threw off all of my inputs and captures and whatnot. So my audio was fucked up for the entire 40-minute video I did covering Pestilence Scourge, kind of how we had been building our account and recommending that you build your account and if that's going to actually be effective and how we did on that Scourge event with some actual live playthrough. So that recorded without any video, so I had to take that video down and do another kind of quick expedited video because I didn't want to do the whole thing all over again. And now today, the same thing happened where I went to go record a video kind of on these updates that we missed on Friday, as well as like a look at this upcoming week's events. And apparently the video didn't save after I was done recording it. So we're gonna try this again. So, um, I don't really want to put any more information out right now on the Pestilence Scourge event because we are, I think, within 4 or 5 hours of the event ending. So any information that I put out now isn't going to be very useful for you because by the time most people watch this, that event will have been over. So maybe we'll do kind of a retrospective afterwards or leading up to the next one. But today I just want to go through this blog post, talk about some updates, and then talk about kind of the events where we're at right now, as well as like kind of like where to look towards in the next few days or so before this next leg of the September events kicks off. So, anyways, let's get into it. On Friday, we got this blog post. Along came three spiders. So the main meat and potatoes of this is that they're releasing a new Spider-Verse team called the Tangled Web Team. Um, that's my Blitz timer. All right, so Spider Weaver's the first character announced. He's or she rather is this character here in the middle. This is that Navajo based original character idea that they came up with. This is actually their third character that they've invented themselves, along with Kestrel and Deathpool as well. And this team is also going to be a Cosmic Crucible team. So we'll probably do a video later this week, kind of talk about kind of like how we're going to reprioritize some of our character building and farms based off of this team, because as we know, Cosmic Crucible is going to be our number one place to farm out our gear 16, 17 gear pieces and to be able to just gear in general while we build towards the Apocalypse Saga. And there will be more information on the Apocalypse Saga further down in this blog post. So this has their specific kits. I'm not going to really read into them too much right now, but Spider Weaver is going to be a global mystic. That's interesting. So global tag, mystic tag. They're a protector. They're gonna be part of the spider or this tangled web team. So Mystic, this is another character we have to gear for Mystic. I know things have been pretty tight so far, and luckily, we really haven't had a whole lot of new Mystic characters released. I think Mighty Thor was like the last big Mystic character that we got off the top of my head. So we've had a couple months to kind of catch up on all that gear. So hopefully you're not in too big of a crunch at the moment. But Spider Weaver and Apocalypse Saga, this is kind of the big takeaway from this blog post. So I'm not going to read this word for word, but basically they'd already mentioned in other blog posts regarding the Apocalypse sagas that yes, you will have to do your Horseman sagas. So once you unlock all your Horsemen, the second go around of these Scourge events, they're actually unlocking a saga specifically for that Horseman and that Horseman team. So we already have the Pestilence saga out right now with Morgan Le Fay and the rest of the Darkhold team. The requirements for those sagas that you have to have those teams at gear 13, 15, and 17 for the difficulty 1, 2, and 3 on those sagas. Now, once you complete difficulty 2 on every saga, you unlock the Apocalypse saga, at which point you will need specific characters for that saga to unlock Apocalypse. And it's looking like this is the first character being announced for those character specific requirements for Apocalypse. So Spider Weaver will play a key role in unlocking Apocalypse, as she is the first required character. There will be more announced later to complete the final saga. So what that means is that this character, not, the rest of the team, not so much, but this character specifically, they're going to be at that same priority tier level as the rest of our Horseman team. So our end goal for this character is gear tier 17. So obviously to make the upcoming saga, way, way down the road, like 6 months from now when we get it, to make it easier, you're going to want to farm this character out to as many star levels as possible. And I've heard rumors that this is going to be another event campaign, which, if so, that will be fucking awesome because, as we know, it's very easy to get those characters unlocked at 5 stars, potentially even 6 stars as free to play. As long as you have your core saved up, you're not spending them on anything else, you can spend them on these events and get them at a very, very high power level. Now, the other two characters announced are Spider-Man 2099. He's going to have a city, bio, and controller tag. So, just like the rest of the web warriors, they're all bio. Ghost Spider is a controller, so kind of unfortunate we got another bio, especially with Gamma coming out this month. But ultimately, there's no mention of this character being required for Apocalypse, so that's nice at least. And then we're also getting Spider-Man Noir. Now, Spider-Man Noir is going to be another Mystic character. He's also going to be City and Blaster, and that's going to round out that Tangled Web team. So there's going to be some Cosmic Crucible updates. So the preseason trial ends on September 8th, which means that starting today, we're going to get our last like preseason round of Cosmic Crucible, and based on that final placing there, they're actually going to place you within. They're kind of breaking out these leagues that we already have into these league subdivisions that are mentioning here. So season one will increase the number of leagues from 6 to 19 by creating subdivisions. So essentially, you're going to have your bronze all the way up to grandmaster, and then all the way in between, there's going to be sub leagues. So like it might be kind of like how war is, or if you play like League of Legends or other similar games that have those kind of MMR constructs, they'll probably be like a bronze one, bronze two, bronze three, silver one, silver two, silver three, and so on and so forth. So, um, yeah, so diamond two, diamond one, they're already describing it in that fashion. So let's see, is there more information here? So updated rewards, Cosmic Crucible credit rewards have been expanded to the new leagues, along with the addition of more T2 level 4 ions, which is great. Remember, guys, keep banking those T2 level 4 ions because those are required for all of your horseman teams for the sagas, as well as I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing for, Spider Weaver or whatever her name is, and all these other character specific requirements for Apocalypse. So we get another avenue of farming those. That is awesome. Tangled Web here is going to be the third Cosmic Crucible team alongside Wakandans and Unlimited X-Men. We've also improved quality of life improvements arriving in season one. So high rated Cosmic Crucible players will be matched against different players on a more regular basis. I'm assuming that just means that there's so few players at the top of it that they're consistently facing the same people over and over again. So it doesn't affect most of us, but I'm sure it's probably a good quality of life update for those earlier on. Now, this next update for Cosmic Crucible is actually great, and this is one of the things that Mr. Hargrave has been pushing through the Envoy program, talking with the community managers. So this is actually a community requested change that they've listened to and brought to the game. So, you can say what you want about the quality of the patch releases and the events and everything else coming out. Like they might be broken, but at least they're listening to community feedback on some of these issues and making changes. But on the squad select screen, your top powered characters will no longer autofill. So one of the issues people were having with Cosmic Crucible is when they would, they'd finish up a match, go hop in the next room, they'd join it, and then it would auto populate with your 5 strongest characters available. And if you weren't really like patient, or if there was some sort of like lag with the game, some people were like accidentally clicking, join room, start battle, like that. And then all of a sudden you've wasted an entire attack using 5 characters. And towards the top end of Cosmic Crucible, when people have these super, super wide rosters, pretty much everybody is just maxing out. And if you can't max out your points on Cosmic Crucible, you were losing rounds. So this is great. This is a really good change. And third, the main menu Cosmic Crucible button will give you updates on when trials are occurring. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, but so they're also updating some of these stage rules. So global rule, Age of X. So I believe this just means that the global rule applies to all rooms, period. But so it's that stage 1 and 2 that had like no rules beforehand, they will always have these rules at a minimum. Well, they'll only have these global rules going forward. But so going forward, hero mutants are going to gain 50% damage, 15% damage reduction, 100% focus, and 500% resistance. So hero mutants getting a huge buff. Make sure you're using them in Cosmic Crucible. This is also going to kind of help us put some stronger teams on defense as well. And then you have this defending. So they're also going to clear revive once, which I mean, rest in peace, Infinity Watch, I guess. And defending characters have plus 20% health and 10% damage. So that was just kind of the blanket global rule beforehand. So they're just adding all this stuff on top of that now. So stage 1 and 2, as I said, no special rules except for the global rule. Stage 3, Spider Mania. On spawn, Spider-Verse characters are going to gain Safeguard for 2 turns plus 2 deflect. So, one of the things that this is kind of cool for is a lot of people like to put Web Warriors on defense and forget about them. So this is definitely going to help them have a little more staying power on defense, but also kind of what no one's talking about is this could make Sinister Six a very, very viable defense team in this room. So keep that in your back pocket, or maybe even an offense team. Stage 4, latent power. So end of turn, global heroes gain offense up. So this could be like really beneficial to teams like Secret Avengers or any global teams that will get like a decent amount of stacks of like counterattack and like attacking on a turn, stuff like that. So this is great. I think Echo as well is global and attacks on a turn quite a bit. So this could be a big boost for your young Avengers potentially in stage 4 or in room 4. In room 5, biological temperament. So on turn, bio character supply offense down to a random enemy without offense down. So, this can be your web warriors, your gamma team, whatever else. Stage 6, Tales of Legends. So legendary characters gain plus 50% damage. On spawn, they gain 3 turns of defense up and safeguard. And on turn, they remove all negative effects from themselves and gain speed up. So this is going to be a very interesting room, especially early game when you don't have a whole lot of very quality legendary characters unlocked. So I'm going to be curious to kind of see like what the early player meta is on this. And rolling into the monthly events now, we've got Coordinated Assault that's up right now. So if you've been saving your free refreshes for ISO 8, make sure you're using that. It's the same thing as always. We're not going to cover this a whole lot. Now, Power of Attorney, this is going to be the next week-long milestone event that's going to feed into, the bulk of your September milestone. And this is kind of being done by the Power of Attorney milestone is the Umbrella milestone, and there's 2 more that are going to feed into it. So you're going to be earning briefcases in order, and that's going to be your collectible to get points for this. And our kind of goal here is going to be this milestone 30, because that's where we're getting our irradiated blood. And I mean, if you hit milestone 31, that's also great because we're going to get a Red Star She-Hulk at 5 red right there. So if you don't have that yet, maybe set that as your goal. But the first of these 2 milestones are going to feed into this umbrella milestone. It's going to be a blitz milestone called Public Defender milestone. Now, you're going to be getting bonus points for blitzing with defenders at gear 13 and 15 and blitzing with gamma at 13 and 15. So kind of a quick to-do list in the next couple of days. If you have any, I wouldn't really recommend building the defenders for this event. I mean, if you already have them at gear tier 13, that's just free chicken for you. But those characters are not really relevant enough to divert any of our resources towards it. If you decide to, it's going to make this event easier, but I personally will not be, and I'll kind of see where we end up without that investment. And the Gamma, if you don't have Hulk and She-Hulk at gear tier 13, I mean, just get them up at this point because they're going to help you out quite a bit, and you have to gear them anyway, so it's none of it's wasted gear or resources. Now, we should be able to max this event out every single day. That's kind of our plan for this. And the second milestone is going to feed into it is a war milestone feature around A-Force. So if you, let's see. So you're getting points for just war battles, not even for winning them. So as long as you have, you're spending your war battles. Say you spend 10, and you'll get 5,000 points. So that'll put you right around here at milestone 14. So you're definitely gonna want to have your A-Force at gear 13 for this. It might not be too bad of an investment if you have to panic gear them in the next 48 hours. This is kind of another area that I'm weak on, and I might have to dump some resources into that. Now, next event coming up this week is going to be your Quick Rumble for the week. That's going to be a Weapon X featured milestone. So I'm curious to see kind of how I'm going to do with this because I don't have any of them at 5 or 7 stars on my on this account. I've got Wolverine at 6, so maybe that'll help out a little bit. But yeah, and character availability. So Valkyrie will be entering all the orb stores tomorrow at reset, and they're taking Red Guardian out. So that's good. That's a win. Valkyrie's becoming farmable again. I mean, most people have Valkyrie anyways because she was in an event campaign. And then on top of that, we've got another Payday coming out that came out a few days ago, so it should be over by now. Alpha raids started last night. I think that's a typo because they're not currently live in my game from what I saw today. And we're getting Omega Red back this week. So I am not going to be able to unlock him this time around, but I should have him next time around because my career are the ones holding me back right now. I've got everybody else pretty much ready to go, minus Nick Fury. So there's that. Now, let's hop into here and kind of talk through quickly. So I didn't really give a good rundown on the Stark R&D event. We've only got 24 hours left in it. Hopefully you guys have been able to clear this. It's been fairly easy to clear now. the main thing with this is just do your blitz rotation, spend your blitz energy on Bionic Avengers, and then you can kind of bridge the gap with gold. So what I've been doing is I've still been spending my 1 mil a day gold, kind of right off the bat when this resets, and then blitzing through, spending all my blitz refreshes, my 25 and 50 refreshes with Bionic Avengers, and then just going through the rest of my blitz rotations as frequently as possible. And then the next day before this event resets, because this is a daily reset milestone, if I don't have that 8 mil yet, I will just dump whatever gold I have left over to make sure I clear it. So I have not missed one yet. And as you can see, like I already own three, about to get my fourth one today. Maybe I did miss one then. That's possible. But yeah, we're still a ways off. We don't have a single shard of Abomination yet, so we're still on like halfway to the first orb. That's kind of annoying, but we'll see how that goes. What else? What else? What else? Ooh, okay. So Pestilence Scourge. I topped out at just under 300,000 points. We got a few hours left here, so I'll probably go through and do one more run today. But as you can see, I am 80 out of 100 shards right now with her. So we will unlock her this go around. And that's just because I think you get, I forget if it's 20 or 30 guaranteed shards from the leaderboards, but you get at minimum 20 or 30 shards, whichever one it was. So I will unlock her this go around. Um, and I will be like just dumping everything into her as soon as possible because she's super broken. And I'm kind of interested to see if I can swap over to my, at least Morgan Le Fay as just a one-off for my arena team because I've been slipping in arena quite a bit lately. I haven't really had any other characters other than Infinity Watch to really put in there, and they're just everybody else at this point is unlocked or bought Eternals, and I'm just struggling. So hopefully this will help me out. And yeah, aside from that, kind of the teams I ran for the Pestilent Scourge that really worked out for me was what I planned on running, and it worked really well. So I ran my Young Avengers for nodes 1 and 2 for the hero traits, and I actually cleared difficulty 4 with I didn't even have Kate Bishop or Miss Marvel up to 13 yet before I went into it. I just got them up since then, and I think Node 2 was a little difficult with that, but I just threw a couple sacrifice teams at it, called it good. And then 3 and 4, Wakanda just cakewalked fucking Michael Jackson Thriller moonwalked all the way through that shit. Don't even think twice about it. Just get them up. And my Web Warriors didn't have any difficulty with Node 5. Node 10 was a little difficult. Um, but we'll be better next time it comes around. Where I really struggled was the villain nodes because I didn't have a whole lot of quality villains in this team, which is what I'm really gonna have to reevaluate investing into soon because we're gonna be getting the second run of Famine in the near future. It's still not announced yet, but I think it's pegged for somewhere around October-ish time frame. Um, yeah, so that's something I have to figure out quick before the next one comes around. And then I have Cosmic. Cosmic was kind of interesting too. Heroes Guardians, I'm interested to see how they do in the War Scourge because one of the two nodes for Cosmic in Pestilence was difficult for me, and the other one they cakewalked through it. So I kind of had to use a mixture of that and then this kind of other just hodgepodge Cosmic team as well. So yeah, that's kind of where the account's at right now. Where we're at with the events, what we're looking forward to this next week. I think it's going to be a difficult week for me personally because I don't have a whole lot of Defender or Gamma or a Force investment yet. So I'm likely going to have to dump a decent amount of resources into it. Luckily, I've got about 10 mil saved and I think 60 more gold orbs in the tank. So the next probably 48 hours before this event comes out, I'm probably going to dump into some of those characters. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. I know content's been kind of lacking this last week. It was a hectic week for me with the holiday weekend, and I had a wedding to go to and everything. So we'll be kind of getting back to our scheduled releases this week, hopefully. And I've been kind of trying to like plan what videos I put out on what days, and I'm kind of done doing that. I just want to kind of come on here, talk, and put out whatever information I got going through my head at the time. So if you guys are enjoying the content, please like the video and share it with your friends. Leave a comment down below. Let's have a conversation. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. And until tomorrow, you guys stay safe, have a good night, and set your 2-hour blitz timers.